Philadelphia for the start of the Nats 6-game trip against 2 division opponents. Tanner Roark looks to help build on a commanding 8-game division lead tonight. Nats on the road. We haven't been in Philadelphia in 3 months. Welcome to the bank. Always Nats fans here to support the guys on the road, looking for success. And the Phillies really aren't that bad at home. They're 30-33 on their own field. Bob and FP, great thing about baseball, until the schedule tells you to go home, there's always tomorrow. So forget about Sunday, forget about Saturday, a new series. And it's interesting down the stretch as we look at the remaining schedule.
Yeah, a lot of games in their division. Got to take care of business against the Phillies. They've won 6 straight against the Phillies, outscored them 38-16 in those games. But you look at the remaining schedule, 25 games against teams in your own division that have a combined record of 241 and 280. That's a .463 winning percentage. So, I mean, the only easy games are the ones you win, but the schedule's lightening up for the Nats. But this team looks tired to me. They have to find a way to turn it around.
Yeah, losing 6 of their last 8, but 35-16 in the division. That's a good sign. The other good sign, it's Tanner Roark tonight. 3 starts against the Phils this year, 2-0 with an 0.86 ERA.
Yeah, coming off a tough start, the Orioles hit him around a little bit. His location wasn't what we've seen in the past from Tanner. He was up in the zone with his fastball. Look for the adjustments to be made here against the Phillies tonight. I don't think he's going to have 2 in a row, one like he had last time against the O's.
Yeah, speaking of hitting around, how about Trey Turner and what he has been doing recently? 6 games in a row, he's had at least a couple of hits. He's a ridiculous 16 for 28, and 42 hits this month is a Nats rookie record. Be ready for first pitch, folks. Trey Turner coming up when we come back. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. Mike Schmidt hit more than 500 homers. He was watching one of them leave. Dusty and the Fanatic. Hey, come on. Our manager's not that old. 88 at game time. It was a high of 93 in Philly today. It's a little breezy. Kind of blowing from the left side over to the right. Humidity way down, mostly clear. It's gorgeous tonight. So Bryce against the Phillies, 393. 3 homers, 8 RBIs in his career against Philadelphia. How about 14 homers and 37 RBIs? Murphy, Harper, Wilson Ramos, Jason Worth, Ryan Zimmerman, who's not in the lineup tonight. All big career numbers against the Phils. Good looking lineup for Tanner Roark tonight. The Nats face Jake Thompson.
Let's see the arsenal on Jake Thompson. The distribution, at least. Fastball 91. Slider's best secondary pitch at 83. Curveball and changeup to complement those 2 pitches. Last start on the 23rd at the White Sox. 9-1 loss. Gave up 7 runs and 5 innings of work on 8 hits. Just a couple of strikeouts and 4 walks. The defense for the Phillies tonight behind Thompson, Paredes, Herrera, Altair the outfield, Galvis Franco left side, Hernandez, Joseph right side, and Cameron Rupp behind the plate.
Yeah, pretty much the regular guy now that Carlos Ruiz is off to the Dodgers and A.J. Ellis has come over here. Quinn Wolcott has the plate. 4th year in the big leagues. Clint Fagan his 5th. Mark Carlson his 18th. And then over at 3rd, there's the crew chief, Brian Gorman, 24th year in the big leagues. Thompson, first time against the Nats, facing Turner. We're underway. 7:06 with strike 1.
Thompson, a guy that has to live on the corners of the plate. Last start, he got too much plate, and you just heard the results.
Tried to get to the inside edge, a little bit in. 1-1 to Turner, who is 16 for 28 during his hitting streak. Target away, up the middle, and over toward Cesar Hernandez. Thompson, one of the Phillies, obtained in the Cole Hamels deal last year, and tomorrow night starter as well, Jared Eichhoff.
The 2000th player to appear in a game for the Phillies, Mr. 2000. I think that's pretty cool.
That is interesting.
And if you look real hard, maybe Sean Kelly's pitching against his own team tonight. Same kind of delivery, same kind of windup. Actually, same kind of stuff. Although Sean's fastball a little more firm. Sean's probably still in the clubhouse saying, what is he talking about?
So here's Worth. Jason got a true day off yesterday, did not play at all. Most recent at bat on Saturday, strikeout in the 11th inning, but he had a base hit in that game, and he's been on base 53 of the last 54 times out. Counts even, 1-1.
So 316 games career in this ballpark. 291 average, 62 homers, 197 RBI, 306 hits. And my favorite stat, 37 stolen bases, just 1 caught stealing. Career at Citizen Bank Park.
Turn him loose.
Impressive.
Yeah, his numbers as an opposing player are really good too. 2-1 pitch. He got a hanger, and that ball is deep to left. See you later. Jason Worth against the Phillies, his 18th homer and 67th RBI. The Nats on top as Worth makes it to 19.
I mean, right on cue, J-Dub, nicely done. There goes the no-hitter. There goes the shutout. Jason Worth loves playing in Philadelphia. Whether he has a gray uni or a white uni, doesn't matter. So make that 63 homers now at the bank.
There's Daniel Murphy hitting .341 on the road. Strike call from Thompson, who just gave up his 5th home run in under 20 innings. Be a great series for Daniel to make it to 100 on the RBI ledger. 1-1. And Murphy takes an off-speed pitch, 2-1.
So the National League record for players with 20 home runs on one team is 6. The 1965 Braves did it. The 2003 Braves did it. So only 2 teams in the history of the National League have had as many as 6 players with 20 homers. And the way I'm looking at it, Jason with 19 now, Murphy 25, Harper 23, Rendon 16, Ramos 20, Espinosa 20. The Nats could be the 3rd team in the history of the National League with 6 20 home run players.
Yeah, there are the most with 20 now. Brought to you by Jeep as we go inside some power numbers. 2-2 pitch with 1 out, and Murphy a ground ball to the right side. That's Tommy Joseph over to Thompson. 2 outs with Harper coming up.
Let's see number 63 in this ballpark, number 19 on the year. That lady was reading something back there. She missed it. She missed a Worthquake. I mean, he has been letting it rip lately. The power from Jason Worth has been really, really impressive. He's going all right-handed Reggie Jackson to a knee on his home runs lately.
And he's done a lot of that recently early in the ball game, so maybe his first or second at bat. Very impressive. That was RBI number 60, by the way, for Worth. Here's Harper, who has 74. On the outside edge for a strike. Just a moment ago, they threw first pitch in New York. Jose Fernandez, Rafael Montero with the Marlins at the Mets. Counts even, 1-1. Nats by 8 over Miami, 9 over New York. 15 over these Phillies, who are 10 games under 500. Nationals lead the season series 8-4, but as was noted earlier, they've won 6 in a row. 5-1 in this ballpark. One and 2 to Harper. He's hit safely 13 of his last 15 games. On base a lot even before that, 22 of his last 23. And a 2-2 and a good take on a breaking ball down and in.
Check out Bryce Harper's 23rd homer yesterday off Boone Logan. Low liner to right. Right center, a couple rows deep.
Got the Nats within 2 runs leading off the 9th. 3-2 pitch. Thompson taking a long pause here. Into his windup. And Bryce will draw his 93rd walk of the year. That'll bring in Anthony Rendon hitting 5th tonight right in front of Wilson Ramos.
Anthony Rendon needs 4 home runs the rest of the year. You think Jason Worth's going to get another one, right?
I do believe.
You never know, but.
Ryan Zimmerman would have to get really hot to hit 7 more to make it to 20. So Ramos steps out on deck. Here's Rendon. A lot of hitting room right side. Up and in, and that snaps his head back. Ball 1.
If I'm a young pitcher, my first go around the big leagues, I want to see how my stuff plays. And when my friends call me at night and ask me how I did against Bryce Harper, the last thing I want to say is I walked him. want to say I got him out, right? If you're a young guy. Or maybe that's
there could be another result.
I mean, that's just being too macho.
Is saying I walked him worse than saying I gave up a 450-foot bomb?
I played on some young teams in Montreal where we used to challenge our pitchers to go after the Stars to see if their stuff played at this level.
Way inside to Rendon again, 2-0. Quick visit here from Cameron Rupp.
Say, why walk Sammy Sosa? Why walk Mark McGwire? See if you can get him out. I mean, that's what you want to talk about to your parents that night, right? I got those guys out. Not that I pitched around them. We go in the clubhouse and tell them that right to their face. Like, let's go. No more walking these guys. Then they hit a home run off them and come sit next to me and say, okay, you happy now? But at least you know.
I remember rookie Carl Pavano giving a couple up to McGwire last day of the season in '98. He had a pretty good career after that. 2-0 pitch. Harper started, then stopped just a couple of steps. And it drops in to Anthony Rendon, 2-1. So right about the time the Nats wrapped up that series here, which was the first day of June, Anthony Rendon just got it going. And he's taking his numbers up and up as we get deeper into the season. 336 over his last 31 games. 25 RBIs, 20 runs during that time. He'd got to pick and choose any start date over the last 3 months, and he's been pretty good. Upstairs, 3-1. Oh, we're talking about homers. Rendon's career high, 21 2 years ago. His first full season in the big leagues. Also drove an 83 that year. Three-two pitch. Harper moving. Rendon to left center. Bryce Harper's thinking about scoring right now. Herrera up with it. Around third. A bounce and a relay not able to be made. And the Nationals lead 2-0. Rendon, RBI number 62, a 2-out. Run batted in.
Well, any kind of throw to Freddie Galvis, who has a super strong arm, and this is going to be something at the plate, but Odubel Herrera just kind of gooses it to Galvis. He has to try to pick it, and that's where the play is made. Bob Henley's seeing Herrera going away from the play. That's why he sent Bryce Harper. Now, Odubel, a former infielder, fielded that like an infielder to the forehand side with his momentum going to the track. He short-armed the ball to Galvis, and that was enough to send Harper.
And the runner was going. The rare instance where somebody scores from first base on a single. Here's Ramos. Breaking ball in there.
And the right call by Anthony Rendon to stay at first, because it would have gave Galvis an easy out at second after he bobbled it. Nice swing.
Well, he is swinging so well. Now 26 RBIs his last 32 games. Bad throw on a hop to Tommy Joseph.
At Thompson's last start, Carp, against the White Sox, he gave up 1 run in the first, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fifth.
So first, second, and third times around the order were not solid. Nats getting him first time around here. Wilson Ramos, 283 career against the Phillies. And he will go out to right center. That ball's well hit. It's going to tail back to Aaron Altair, the right fielder. Great first inning for the Nats. Jason Worth, after Turner grounded out, gets it started with his 19th of the year. RBI number 60. Harper walked. Rendon single. 2 on the board early. And now it's Tanner Roark's turn to go to work. Facing this Phillies lineup, Cesar Hernandez, solid leadoff guy this year. .294 on base percentage, 60 points higher than that. Odubel Herrera still has a .360 on base percentage. Then some power guys with Franco, Joseph. Aaron Altaire's only played 27 games this year. So the Phillies are rebuilding, no doubt about that, but they've got some good, solid young players. Last time Tanner Roark pitched in this ballpark, it was Memorial Day. We're 1 week short of Labor Day now.
He's trying to join Max at 14-7. Going for his 14th win of the year. Snapped his personal 4-game winning streak last start against the O's on the 24th. Gave up 4 earned runs on 7 hits over 5 innings. 111 pitches. And he said after the game, location was a problem. And that's the last thing you usually think of when you think of Tanner.
Absolutely. Hernandez 4 for 9 against him career. And that one, thought it had some run back to it. Didn't quite get back. 2-1. Cesar, left-handed, hitting .278. Leads the league in triples with 9. Look out, Trey Turner's hunting that number. 3-1. Roark beat the Phillies 4-3 on Labor Day, or rather Memorial Day. Joe Ross beat him 5-1 the next day. Scherzer 7-2 in that Nats sweep the last time they were here. Right in there, and it's 3-2. It's Pete Mackanin. Phillies 10 games under, but as we mentioned, they've been tough at home. Just 3 under 500. It's got them playing hard all year long.
60 wins on the year for the Phillies. You know when they got their 60th win last year? September 29th. So Pete Mackanin doing a heck of a job with this ball club.
Yeah, they went 63-99 last year. That ball's well hit. Worth into the corner, going with it on the slice, and he's got it for the first out.
There's your defense. You just saw the bearded one in left. Trey Turner in center. Bryce Harper in right. Danny Espinosa at short. Anthony Rendon at third. Daniel Murphy at second. Clint Robinson at first. Wilson Ramos, the catcher. Clint Robinson getting the start at first base tonight.
And against a right-handed pitcher, a good ballpark for him with his swing. Odubel Herrera was walking like crazy, getting on base like crazy when the Nats faced these guys early in the season. Still been a solid year for him. .281.
All-star year for him. Played in San Diego.
That's a good story. He's only 24. Phillies got him in the Rule 5 draft last December. Actually December of 14, off the Texas roster.
He looks like his front leg's more dislocated than normal. Check it out. Yeah, that's painful.
1-1 way outside.
His right ankle has to be way stronger than his left.
From what you know and what you can see, what does that do for a hitter, that stance?
Just his own little comfort thing. Probably weight distribution, exactly how he wants it. Achilles tendon stretching just how he wants it. I don't know.
3-1.
I'm doing it right now and it does not feel good.
That's a base hit. Daniel Murphy didn't even attempt to jump on that one. The Phillies have a runner with 1 out. So Herrera 5 for 12 career against Roark. And next up is Maikel Franco.
A lot of times you just do something once and it works. And then you're stuck doing it the rest of your career.
Franco at .251 with 22 home runs. Murphy shades up the middle for the right-hander. Nats have turned 121 double plays, 5th in the National League. Hard ground ball, foul.
Yeah, last time out against the Orioles, he was elevated with the fastball more than we've seen him in a long time. And he knew it.
Oh, 2 pitch. Tanner overall against the Phillies. Under the watchful eye this year of Mike Maddox. 10 games, 8 starts, 4-5 with a 4.35. But he's brought that way down this year by winning 2 of the 3 starts, getting a no decision in the other. Tapper foul, left side.
Sometimes when you're real quick with your front side of your body and your arm trails, your release points off what, centimeters, and that can be the difference between a fastball belt high or a fastball knee high. And sometimes when you talk to pitchers, it's just as simple as lowering your sights. Just look for the bottom of the zone if you're throwing it high. Just don't think about mechanics. Just lower your sights. Look at the catcher's shin guards, the lower half of them.
0-2 again. First baseman Tommy Joseph. His career here in Philly off to a pretty good start. Keeping it down, it's 2-2.
Shook off a slider, shook off a fastball away, shook off a fastball in, going with the curveball. So the 4th pitch from Wilson Ramos they settle on. Maybe he threw over just to reset here after shaking off 3 times.
Two, the count with 1 out. Breaking ball, a big hook. So Tanner must have known he was going to throw his best curve of the night so far, and he gets the strikeout.
Well, I think he threw over because if you shake 3 times, maybe a hitter starts to think with you and you're tipping what you're going to throw. So there was no throw over sign. Tanner just did it on his own just to get the first sign from Wilson, which is a curveball, and he threw it in the dirt nicely. And Franco, a guy who likes to swing, chases the curve in the dirt.
So next up, Tommy Joseph, their first baseman of the future, and as it turns out, pretty much the present now. 17 home runs and 34 RBIs. Rookie season, originally drafted by the Giants. And the Phillies got him in a deal involving Nate Scherholtz and Hunter Pence. Trading deadline 2012. Interesting, Herrera has stolen 19 bases this year, but he's not getting any kind of lead or maybe read against Tanner Roark. Mickey Morandini, the first base coach there.
I just don't know how banged up guys are this time of year. Been caught 7 times.
Oh, 2.
Herrera started, stopped, and then he's mad at himself that he didn't go when he saw the curveball in the dirt. Chris Spire flashing the throw over sign, if there is one.
Another hook, and it's well outside. 2-2. Roark gets him 87 on the diving slider. Couple of strikeouts to end the inning after the fly ball and the base hit. And the Nats by 2 after the first inning of the road trip. Anthony Rendon. How about an entire month of home games? $75 with Nats Pass, the newest way to enjoy Nationals baseball if you like some standing room areas of Nats Park. All 15 home games in September for an average of $5 a shot when the Nats play the Braves, Phils, Mets, D-backs, and Marlins. Visit nationals.com/NatsPass for all the details. Maybe some great sidelines around the ballpark you've never experienced before. Give it a try.
A lot of Nats fans cruising up 95 today. Check out a ball game after they paid $2,000 in tolls.
Did you say cruising up 95? Long bus ride for the guys last night. Strike call on the outside edge to Clint Robinson. 1-1. Last 20 starts, Clint hitting .280. 7-8-9 here in the second. He's going to reach out and poke one into right field. Give Clint Robinson a start. He's going to be on base a couple of times during the evening.
I feel like he's going to drive in a big run too. That guy can hit. Every time he gets a start, he makes something happen. Stays on the changeup from Jake Thompson right there, leading off the second with a knock. Nicely done.
Danny Espinosa is on a bit of a roll here. 7-game hitting streak, 10 of his last 12. Robinson, short lead. And the breaking ball stays up and away. While not hitting for high average, his career numbers against Philadelphia pitching solid. 13 home runs, 31 RBIs. Challenge fastball. It was up, and Danny took it straight back. 1-1 count. So this year, Danny's hit 4 homers against Phillies and driven in 5. Some movement on that changeup. Nissan figures it must have taken it out of the strike zone. Just barely. Another good take by Danny. 3-1.
Wait, what's he working about? 3 days growth right now, maybe? 2? Yeah, that's 2. Day and a half.
Wind blowing in. Straight from center. Espinosa out to right center. And the ball just didn't have enough hook on it to get away from Herrera. Well hit. First out, second inning.
Got himself into a nice hitting count, got a fastball, and you're thinking that's going to fool Herrera and get into the gap. Nice running catch by the Phillies center fielder. Not a lot of gap to cover here at the bank, especially going that way.
Tanner Roark, 5 hits, 2 RBIs on the year. Could be a sacrifice situation with the base hit machine coming up next. Strike call. There he is. News flash, he's 0 for 1.
I think that breaks up, but there goes a no-hitter streak.
That ball's going to roll foul. Picked up by Rupp just as it did. Strike 2.
You don't have to be that fine with it, but with Clint Robinson at first base, it does have to be a little more away from the pitcher, so to speak, as it would if Danny Espinosa was on first.
Roark about to switch up and take a hack.
Field looks thirsty here, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of yellow spots around the infield and the outfield.
I mean, maybe it's the OCD in me, but I want to go out there and water the field right now. Maybe we're spoiled because every field we see is pristine, but with the high temperatures this summer, it looks like it's taking its toll on this yard.
One, 2. Roark lays off again. Great take, and the count's even. A lot of pitches off the stretch early for Jake Thompson. Roark's going to switch off and swing. That's why right fielders play shallow. Altered there to grab it. Robinson back to first, 2 outs. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. So most hits in a month by Nats and Expos rookies, including Bryce Harper 4 years ago and Ian Desmond 6 years ago in his first full season.
Pretty good list. 47 is the record for a month.
By anybody. Huh?
By anybody, period. So 3 more games, counting tonight. Daniel Murphy last did it in May, 47 knocks.
1-0 with 2 outs. And right to the outside edge. You can hear the breeze blowing through our microphones here. Coming straight in from center. Will it knock that ball down? Not enough. Herrera with his great closing speed gets there. Turner 0 for 2, but the Nats lead by 2, middle second.
Day starting rotation currently on the disabled list, but I've got positive updates to provide for you on both of the injured right-handers. Steven Strasburg, will start with him, took to the bullpen mound here at CBP today. The first time that Strasburg threw off a bullpen mound since landing on the DL last week with elbow soreness. Obviously a good sign just a week after hitting the DL that he was able to do so. Dusty didn't really have much to tell us earlier today on that, but it seemed all went well with Strasburg. As for Joe Ross, right shoulder inflammation for him. Pitched an inning at AAA Syracuse yesterday. Will next pitch for the Chiefs on Wednesday. The plan is to build him up to around 80 pitches. Then he can help the Nats out of the bullpen build more arm strength from there, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Welcome back. Great news with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Here's Aaron Altair, Phillies leadoff guy, bottom of the second, 2-0.
Yeah, that's a big piece of the puzzle when you're talking about October baseball, whether it's as a starter or as a reliever.
High chopper. Rendon on the charge. Not about to let that thing hop a second time. Last 14 games, the Nats just haven't gotten a whole lot of innings out of their starters. Just 1 out FP beyond 5 innings on the average.
That's called the season. That's all that's called. If it were a video game, they'd be 9-0 with a 1.5 ERA and going 9 innings every start. But it's not. You have those periods, whether you're a player, a position player, or a pitcher, where it just good luck. You just go out there and battle and compete, because the arsenal isn't what it is early in the season, and it just for some reason comes back to you as you get close to the finish line again, whether it's the adrenaline of the postseason or a pennant race or whatever. Maybe the finality of the season going on the back of your baseball card.
Loud sound on a high drive to center. Cameron Rupp to Trey Turner, and you could tell the wind really knocked that down. Trey ended up coming forward to make that catch.
Yeah, blowing straight in right now. Pretty stiff breeze.
When's the last time we saw any flags moving anywhere, is my thought.
Yeah, you're thinking when you look at the flags tonight that it's going to play bigger than normal. Trey Turner does a nice job of adjusting, readjusting, and then coming back in. Had a really tough time to see the baseball on top of the wind.
Yeah.
So you see the footwork, the athletic ability, not a problem for Trey Turner.
Yeah, it's at twilight time about an hour earlier than it was a month and a half ago. So ballpark conditions changing as we get closer to September. Here's Jimmy Paredes, the left fielder.
Yeah, I noticed that last night. It was getting dark around 8, and I got bummed all of a sudden that summer was over. Not ready for winter yet.
Paredes, 233 overall, 256 left-handed. And to the left side, he goes to Anthony Rendon. Quick, top or bottom of the second, that is, for Tanner Roark. Jason Werth's gone deep. He is straight ahead.
Jump back in the box. Time for some Geico highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Let's check out Tater number 19 for J-Dub. It was in the first inning, went to an E, drove it out of here. The power from him lately has been fantastic. And listen to the reception Jason gets from his buddies who heckle him in the dugout.
Cut your hair.
So
beautiful.
He's been booed since day one at the bank, and his teammates booed him in the dugout, and somebody said, cut your hair. That was great.
Loose ball club. You wouldn't know these guys lost 6 out of 8 or won 6 out of 8. That's the way it's got to be during the long season. 1-0 pitch, and despite Rupp dropping it, a strike call. 1-1. Well, he said something that caused the umpire to smile.
This is a pitch ago. Well, hey, if you boo a guy and he hits a home run, you got to boo him the rest of the night, right?
Werth to short, sharply hit. Freddie Galvis had to be soft with the hands on that. And Jason Werth just hitting the ball hard, consistently. Murphy and Harper now, the next two. Murphy a chopper to the right side first time. Tommy Joseph to the pitcher.
I'm guessing, but pretty much the only guy that could tell Jason jokingly to cut his hair in that dugout is Max Scherzer. Just a guess. kind word for one of his friends as he puts his helmet in the rack.
Up and away to Daniel Murphy. 1 point behind DJ LeMahieu on the batting race ledger. Rockies do play tonight. Dodgers are there later tonight. Murphy with a great swing, great contact to left. Hit number 160 for Daniel Murphy.
Well, you're going to pitch him away, and that's primarily what the Rockies did. You're going to go that way. Watch Daniel Murphy, the sinker on the outer half. You're going to play me to pull. I'll go that way, and check out the finish. He went Phil Mickelson here. Watch. Yep. Yeah, that's a hit. Just another lousy single.
Next up is Harper, who drew a 2-out walk with a couple of good takes in the hitter's park. Bryce didn't get overeager, took the base on balls. And then running on a 3-2 pitch, Anthony Rendon singled him home. Bryce has now scored 72 runs and driven in 74.
.74% fastballs. 90 to 94. I haven't seen a 95 yet.
Harper to Hopper. Hernandez, Galvis, and the Phillies turn a 4-6-3 to end the top of the third.
The bank in Philadelphia. Labor Day is Monday, September 5th. That sounds like a good day to go to the yard to me. 4:05 start on Labor Day. Braves with their last visit to Nats Park. Don't miss the first of 3 NL East rivals. 10-game homestand. That is what I'm talking about. Visit nationals.com/tickets.
Yeah, the Nats are 19 over against the East with 25 games left in the division starting tonight. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop. The season was off to a pretty good start. He's batting in the 230s now. Breaking ball in there. He was over 250 when the Nationals were last here. 8-9-1. Bottom of the third. Tanner Roark, by the way, coming off an 8-pitch inning. And that gets Freddie Galvis up and in, nowhere to go.
You remember last start against the O's, Tanner hit 3 Orioles, and that's just not what you're used to seeing from him. Obviously, that's not intentional by any means, and you hope that Freddie Galvis is okay. And sometimes that run back fastball doesn't run back, it goes the other way. He's trying to swing that thing back, and it just took off up and in and got him right on the right wrist, it looked like. Oh, it was right at his head.
There's Jake Thompson, 1 for 5 as a big league hitter. They'll pop up the bunt way back over the screen.
Well, I'm trying to think back if there's any history between those two, and it's been 2.5+ months since the Nats have seen the Phillies, so I couldn't tell you. They all start to run together this time of year.
Galvis only 9 career at-bats against Tanner before that. Roark took a look at second, takes the sure out with a 2-run lead. Thompson does his job for his first big league sacrifice.
And the reason I say that, Carp, is because pitchers have long memories, and if something happened in April and you're coming back around in August and we've forgotten about it, maybe everybody on the bench has forgotten about it, but sometimes pitchers and players don't. I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, one of the 2 hits Galvis against Roark, a homer, but I don't remember any styling or anything like that.
I think I remember him moonwalking to first and then cartwheels around second. Other than that, he didn't show him up. Freddie Galvis doesn't show anybody up. He's old school. Plays the game hard and right.
Top of the order, Cesar Hernandez. Fly ball that Jason Worth had to go a long way for toward the left field corner in the first inning. And the breaking ball is low. First time through the order. The Phillies go 1 for 7 with a hit batter and a sacrifice. Tanner just 8 pitches in that second. Same pitch, 2-0.
Every time you hear the rhythmic clap here, you start to find the fanatic.
Right behind the Nats dugout at the moment.
Hard to miss.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to clap along with that? 2-0. Fastball in there. Into the 8 o'clock hour here. The Nats are 8-4 against the Phillies this year, winning 6 in a row, 5 out of 6 here. Dan's back with us, Bob and FP here at Citizens Bank Park, where the Nats lead 2-0 after RBIs in the first by Worth with a homer and Rendon with a single. 2-1 pitch. Just a little away. Three-1 up in the zone to fill it up. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
That borderline pitch goes Tanner's way, top corner-ish of the zone. I've become so brainwashed by pitch track. I mean, it's incredible. I remember we first started 2011. I wasn't buying it. The whole box and the strike zone thing, it was new to baseball, new all over broadcast. was like, how does that box know what a strike and what a ball is? And now, after 6 years, if it's not in the box, it's not a strike. And if it is, right? I mean, we all are probably together. You can't watch a major league game now without a strike zone box. And if you do, you feel naked. You feel like, well, what the heck is going on here? Was that a strike? Was that a ball? I mean, you know, there it is in center field. There's 3 of them, and it kind of triangulates the strike zone so that we all know what a ball and a strike is now. And we're all just kind of relying on it, I feel like. I know I am.
Absolutely.
If it's not there, I'm lost.
All right, 3-2 with 1 out. Not a strike. 2 on.
That was close.
For Herrera.
What does pitch track think? That's all that matters. Yeah, it was close.
Roark's first walk, but 2 runners in this inning without putting the bat on the ball. And Odubel Herrera is next. He just reached out and flared one over Daniel Murphy for the Phillies' only hit first time up.
Could you just put a speaker in home plate?
Never, please.
Go
never.
with pitch track. It beeps, it's a strike. It doesn't, it's a ball. I know there's a lot of people out there that are for it. It'd be weird, right, with no umpire back there?
Who do you snap to?
Who's going to call safe and out at home? Or play at the plate? Put the Fanatic back there. He got a better chance than some I've seen. I won't mention any names.
Roark ahead of this hitter. And the big curveball causes a pop-up. Anthony Rendon right in front of his own dugout. 2 down. Up to the Phillies power guy, Maikel Franco, who Tanner Roark struck out swinging first time up.
I'd like to see them experiment with it in a spring training game just once, just to see.
Right on the edge.
Not with the Fanatic, just with the, you know, the robo strike zone.
This ball high in the air to right. Harper's going to back up but get under it. And Bryce takes it. Inning over. Phillies have stranded 3. Tanner Roark handling a 2-run lead very well so far. To you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. On your way to have a Philly cheesesteak tonight.
That is a gut bomb. Major gut bomb. And I think I want one. The clubhouse here, the visiting clubhouse, makes the best cheesesteaks in this whole town. He makes good ones too. They're just green.
Trying to sing along with James Taylor. Good luck. Rendon, Ramos, and Robinson. Song's over, buddy.
I want a selfie with a fanatic. Screech is here tonight, just not dressed as Screech.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't tell you who it is or where they're at.
Rendon turns on one. Way high, way foul.
Be like giving away Spider-Man's identity.
Foul.
Yeah, there you go.
Anthony, RBI number 62. First time up.
Someone was asking me on Twitter, does pitch track change the height and strike zone based on the player? It does. In case you're wondering, yeah. Or so they tell me.
Yeah, you can't have Freddie Galvis have the same strike zone as Ryan Howard.
Somebody also asked me who Bryce would snap on. I thought that was kind of fun.
0-2 and Rendon takes it low and away. Close and a great take by Anthony Rendon. No score in the game at New York. Marlins, Mets hooking up. Jose Fernandez, Rafael Montero. Third inning, no score. Phillies pitching staff 12th in the league coming in with a staff 4.60 ERA. Their closer Jenmar Gomez has had a good year. They've won 60 games. He has saved 34 of those and blown 4. Bob McClure. Solid job with this staff. Two. Now Anthony works it full. 51 pitches for Thompson. First 3 innings. Double play saved him a bunch of bullets in the third. And Rendon gets under one out to short center field. Wynn moving it over toward the gap as it comes down. Herrera for the first out.
Well, home run number 20 for the Buffalo yesterday, and it was a bomb. And he knew he got it. He dropped his bat, watched it. And that was after he had an infield single his first time up. Remember the swing and bunt to third? Then he had one about 450 feet for his 20th. You know you have good balance through your swing. You could just stand there like you did an even swing after that kind of violent pass.
Yeah, all 3 runs yesterday on solo shots. Ramos goes up and tries to hit one here. It's going to carry to shallow right field now, kind of regular depth right field as the wind pushed it back in. Anything gap to gap is going to have to be a low screamer. For the achiever in you, PNC Bank, when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Sean Burnett, look at that with the Braves. 3 other ball clubs this year, including the Nats at the Triple-A level. 46 games and a great ERA. Is he pitching his way back to the big leagues? We'll find out.
He's ready. Call him up.
Rosters can expand on Thursday.
Well, if it was based on being a good person, Sean Burnett would be here already. Michael A. Taylor called up today. Speaking of good people.
Absolutely. Great to have him back. And a pop-up left side. Breeze is going to push this way over into foul ground. Shortstop Freddie Galvis thought he was going to catch it. Franco ended up taking it. And now Thompson turns around with a quick 1-2-3. Two 2-0 Nationals. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. Ashburn Zally out there, not as crowded as it has been in years past. The ballpark either. Phillies are 11th out of 15 teams in attendance, just under 25,000 a game. And they're watching Tommy Joseph. Tanner Roark struck him out swinging first time up. Base hit. Hitting in the mid 250s in his rookie year. Very respectable. Chance for 20 home runs. Aaron Altherr is next.
But unlike other teams that are rebuilding, you can see the Phillies' plan. You can see what they're trying to accomplish. You know, there's good young starting pitching. They have some good young position players. I mean, you can see what's in place here. The cupboard's not bare, and you feel like they're poised to win sooner rather than later. Some other teams we've seen this year that are in rebuilding mode, you just kind of scratch your head and say, well, what's the plan? Which way are you guys going? I don't think that's the case here.
Yeah, they already have a handful of guys who can play every day. I'm a big fan of Andy McPhail, their president. Great baseball guy, been around for a lot of years. Minnesota, Cubs.
Their manager's in place.
That's big.
Through next year and with an option in 18, which I'm sure they'll pick up.
Matt Klentak, their VP and GM. Don't know a whole lot about him just yet, but we'll find out a lot. Pat Gillick still involved as a senior advisor to the Phillies, one of the great baseball men ever. And their incomparable director of Major League Scouting, who's probably been here 30 years or more now, Gordon Lakey, who's just outstanding at what he does. 1-2 to Aaron Altherr. Saw quite a bit of him last year when he hit 241. He's a homegrown Philly, 9th rounder 6 years ago. Two balls, two strikes. That was the Roark changeup. Late dive on it to get that tap foul. Well, Mike Starter, 24 pitches first inning, then 8. then 16. And pitching here in the fourth with a 2-0 lead and a runner aboard. Out to short. Espinosa will do it himself. Tanner Roark will throw his 23rd ground ball for a double play this year, and the Nats turned their 122nd.
Tanner Roark and Double Play Lane have been really good friends this year. And that's just the definition of tailor-made, right? Taking Danny Espinosa right toward the bag once he corrals it. That's that.
Cameron Rupp, 2 outs, bases empty. Counts even.
Never could really get into his rhythm last start against the O's, and tonight you feel like he's just starting to get into it. Good tempo, throwing strikes, keeping the ball away and down.
Breaking ball, that thing's spinning right off the end of the bat.
And Rupp did the smart thing. You don't see big leaguers do this too often. When that thing's rolling foul, they run all the way. Usually guys stop or don't even run, and it spins back and they're standing at home. So it's a small thing, but it's a big thing that all big leaguers should do on that squibber down the line. He ran 90 feet.
One and two with 2 outs. '75th career start tonight for Tanner. 113th big league game. Trying to win his 40th career and his 14th this year. High tapper. Danny Espinosa waiting for it. He'll have a hand in all 3 outs. Leadoff single, no problem. And then the double play pretty much took care of the 4th inning. By T-Mobile. Gary Sanchez of the Yankees, well, he's just slugging and slugging. Double-digit homers his first couple of weeks in the big leagues, and the first rookie to go back-to-back. Jake Arrieta, unstoppable in August. So August of 15 and 16, his combined record. And then Rick Porcello for the Red Sox, 12-0 at home at Fenway, cozy Fenway. Co-leads the American League in wins with Jay Happ. They each have 17. And you might remember that last year, Dallas Keuchel of Houston was unbeaten at home pretty much 500 on the road, and he won the Cy Young. So that's another American League pitcher with a big time chance for 20 this year. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Nats. It'll be Espinosa, Roark, and Turner. And he hit the ball hard first time, right center. This one popped up foul, left side. Third baseman's ball. Maikel Franco to grab it.
The Peanuts finish up their 2016 regular season at the Fitz with an extended Labor Day weekend homestand September 2nd through the 5th. Highlights include presidential election at the Fitz with Trump and Clinton bobbleheads. That ought to be neat. Peanuts tickets are going fast. To join the party, call the number on your screen or go to the website. I mean, that's when you're broadcasting back to DC, you really shouldn't comment on, right?
Just be fair to both sides. You know, it's what the media does. Roark fly ball to right first time.
Says the Homer broadcast team.
Just be fair. I think Tanner thought that breaking ball was a little high. He said, I'll take that.
Probably exactly what he said.
He'll reach out and hit it up the middle. To his right, Cesar Hernandez, and the outs are coming quickly for both pitchers. So the rest of this series will set for you. Max Scherzer and Jared Eichhoff, who's 9 and 12 tomorrow night. Gio looking for number 10. Adam Morgan 1 and 8 on Wednesday. A rare day off in New York. WUSA 9 will join us Friday night, and we'll have the game for you Saturday night. Then ESPN will grab the Sunday night game. So for the Masson games, Nats X are before and after each game.
Yeah, day off in New York will cost you. That's an expensive one always.
Turner grounded to second. Flare to center. Herrera took a hit away from him with a long run straight in. Second time up. 1-1.
Yeah. Phillies manager Pete Mackanin asked me before the game, is he really that fast? I said, yeah, he is. I said, Billy Hamilton fast.
Yeah, Jason made an interesting comment after the weekend series that kids like this who are wiry don't usually generate the kind of power that Trey has been able to do so far. And Jason admiring how Turner's been able to put the sweet spot of the bat on the ball to do that.
Yeah, he said his ears were still ringing when he crossed home plate yesterday after his leadoff tater. You remember, you know, back in the day when everybody had all the big muscles, but now it's more about sport-specific exercises, flexibility. I mean, you really don't have to look farther than Ichiro for a good example of that. A guy that just kept himself in shape his whole career and is wiry like this, but I don't know if he's ever displayed in a game this kind of pop. I think the one in Arizona opened all of our eyes.
1-2, and Trey takes it upstairs. Now he's worked the count full. The Phillies certainly don't want to walk him. Want to pitch up. Turner got it off the end of the bat. The breeze will take care of the rest. And then there's Herrera. 1, 2, 3. 7 straight for Thompson. Pitching duel, pretty solid.
bottom 5 here in Philadelphia. We've talked about Tanner's strong defensive play this season, and a couple of us have even thrown around the possibility of Tanner maybe being in the mix for a Gold Glove award for the NL pitchers. Well, one of Tanner's teammates is taking that kind of to the next level. Sean Kelly today was wearing a t-shirt that he had made. It said Tanner Roark for Gold Glove. He told me he's calling himself Tanner's campaign manager. He's really getting behind this, so he's got some people in his corner here, guys, trying to push Tanner towards some hardware this season.
Very nice. Well done.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a couple of years now, but this year it's really been on display.
By the way, that was not a live shot of Sean Kelly walking across the field at the moment. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Dan with ourcoons.com. Sideline report. Jimmy Paredes leads off for the Phils. Bottom 5, he had a bouncer to Anthony Rendon, who's playing even with the bag at third. Way inside, 1-1.
Yeah, Zach Greinke won it last year. I think that door's open.
Yeah.
So I want one of those shirts.
How about that changeup? Looked like a heater, and then it was gone. Nissan will track it.
I think someday you can make a Tanner Roark for Cy Young shirt too. He's got that kind of ability.
Breaking ball, and Tanner showing off the arsenal here halfway through the game. It's only his third strikeout of the night, and that's just fine. The other outs have come quickly.
I mean, if he can find a way to win tonight, he goes to 14-7. And while his numbers aren't as sexy as Max Scherzer's, someday Tanner Roark has a chance on a good team, whether it's the Nats or wherever he ends up throughout his career, to win 20 games, in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah, I was looking at his numbers when he pitched here, and that was Memorial Day. Tanner won that game to get back to 500 at 4-4, 2 months into the season. Shows you how good he's been in the 3 months since.
And who knows, he might be in the discussion this year. A month left of the season. How many starts does he have left?
Well, tonight is his 27th, so maybe 5, you think? Murphy just not able to get up high enough. Ferry Galvis kind of slow-moing a drop shot into right field, and Murphy waited and waited and got a piece of it.
A foot down early, just kind of scooping that off the dirt. I think that might have got some leather. Just off his glove. Good effort by Murphy.
Now a chance for Thompson to sacrifice again if Pete Mackanin plays it that way. He's going to square after a couple of practice swings and foul off the breaking pitch. Pitching a good ball game tonight. 71 pitches, 42 strikes through 5. The 2-out walk to Harper hurt him in the first after the Worth home run, but it took a 2-out RBI by Anthony Rendon with the runner going on a 3-2 pitch to get that second run. Since then, 2 hits. Another breaking ball, lays it down. It's not going foul, so Rendon had to pick it up. That thing was going to die and be a base hit if Anthony didn't do that.
That was a good play by Rendon. I mean, they're sitting there both looking at it, deciding whether it's going to roll foul. Then he has to throw it over a Buffalo. That can't be easy. Watch how close these guys get, and watch the angle Rendon creates to throw it over Wilson Ramos. Watch this. Right over the top, Wilson ducking to give him just enough room. And that ball's sitting there. Might have rolled foul, but hey, when you're standing there watching that real time, it feels like that ball's sitting there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, right on the chalk when he picked it up.
And presence of mind to go back and cover third after he let go of it.
Yeah, you know Freddie Galvis was eyeballing third base. Top of the order now, Cesar Hernandez. Fly ball to left and a walk. There's that swing back heater right under the bat handle of the left-handed hitter.
Well, you said that like it's his most important pitch, and it is. So nicely done. Yeah, when that's going on, if you're a lefty, good luck. He can still get through a start without that pitch, but when he has the good swing back heater to lefties, that's when you feel like, you know, it's going to be a long night for whoever he's facing.
Two-one pitch. 93 right by him. Fastball is upstairs.
This is usually where against lefties he loves the swing back fastball. 3-2. Start it right at you, make you think it's ball 4, and it comes back for strike 3.
Then he throws him a changeup. Tanner Roark mixing things up beautifully here in the 5th inning. 4 Ks on the night, 2 in the inning. About Worth, Murphy, and Harper coming up. 2-0.
For our inaugural Oktoberfest at Nats Park. September 10th, Nats take on the Phillies. The first 20,000 fans aged 21 and up will receive a Nats beer stein presented by Budweiser. For all the details, visit nationals.com/Oktoberfest. Grab your Lederhosen.
How about grab your game by the throat and pitch like Tanner Roark and get a home run from Jason Worth? $250 to the Children's National Health System for that homer and every one of Nats hit this season for a great cause from Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Worth leads off, top 6. Fastball cutting away, just missed, ball 1. And then he gets an off-speed pitch, a good one.
You know, when you get this job, there's some things you never thought you'd say on TV. That's one of them right there.
Yeah, never heard that one.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time
during my training.
Power zone.
Yeah, it's tall and wide, isn't it?
You're not supposed to get more pop the older you get. He's just feeling real good. His body's letting him swing as hard as he wants, and you know that's all that is. I mean, lots of hard work behind the scenes too, but being healthy to let your body go full throttle on every swing, I think, is the key for him right now.
Jason started the season with 198 home runs. He's at 217 now. And a 1-2 pitch, nobody out. Got the fans over to our right, all riled up with 3 straight foul balls over here. That one front door, but it stayed up and in 2-2. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Kind of a backup curveball right here. I think maybe the lean back sold the call.
3-2.
And when you think about it, that's really the only place you can sell calls anymore. You can't sell them on a tag. You can't sell them if you're safe running to first. The only place you can kind of sell one is with your body language at the plate.
Off speed, and Worth drills it to left, hooking into the corner, but it's going to hang up for Jimmy Paredes to get there. Just didn't quite have that sound. And he caught it after a long run. 1 out. Nats box go back to the first. Worth hit one really well with 1 out, way out of here. 1 out later with 2 down. Bryce drew a walk, and then Rendon with Harper running on a 3-2 pitch drove him in. Since then, Robinson leadoff single third. Murphy 1 out, actually second. Murphy 1 out third. And that's the extent of the Nationals offense. 8 in a row now retired by Jake Thompson since Daniel went the other way with that hit.
Wind's kind of blowing from right to left now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think back. I'm not sure we've even discussed windy conditions in a ballpark since AT&T Park. Just been kind of dead air hanging around during the summer.
I know it feels good up here.
It does. Air moving around. Murphy doesn't matter. He's just going to place one and go 2 for 3 tonight. Hit number 161.
I mean, just a hitting machine. Like I've said 1,000 times this year, what's there left to break down? We've all seen it. Would you say 161 times?
Yeah.
So this is game 131.
Murphy, by the way, went 6 for 12 in the series here at the end of May. Series that ended on June 1st. A sweep. Harper gets under one. It's going to get moved by the wind over toward left center, and the call made, and the catch made by Jimmy Paredes. 2 down. Well, Harper drew a big walk back in the first and resulted in a run. So that's 448 of those this year, over $22,000. $50 to Girls on the Run DC from Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. So they would encourage all of you to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Go for a walk. Here's Rendon, 1 for 2 RBI single in the first.
So 161 hits, 31 games left after tonight. He needs 39 for 200.
It shows you how hard it is to get 200 hits.
It's less than 1.5, but you have to factor in a couple of off days there. So let's just give Murph 36 more games. There's no way he's playing all 39. Unless.
Frank Herman.
Let's just say he's playing 36 more games with 3 off days. Just to have a little fun with it for a second.
Total.
31 left, I'm sorry.
Rendon puts a charge into one to center. Way back, Herrera. And the bank is playing a little bigger tonight. The vault is usually open for withdrawals, but not out there. Not this evening.
The adjustments he's made from last start, you pretty much assumed he was going to make. And the slider curveball combination have been on point. The ground ball when he needs it has been nice. And he's even got the swing back thing going on the changeup and the fastball. So time for Toyota Case for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Bottom 6, 2, 3, 4 for the Phils. Roark 76 pitches, 49 strikes, and there's number 50. Herrera base hit to right, foul ball to third, first 2 times up. Base hit. 2 for 3 for Herrera, who in 30 career games against the Nats is hitting right around 285 on base a lot this year. Phillies box his hit in the first, their first of the night. They didn't get another one until Joseph led off the 4th with a base hit to left. Double play by Danny Espinosa took care of that. And then Galvis off the glove of Daniel Murphy last inning. Tanner only gave up 4 hits in his first 6 innings in that ball game here on Memorial Day. Nationals came from behind with 3 in the 8th to win it. He stuck around long enough to get the W. Big breaking ball, big swing, a big miss, strike 1. Maikel Franco 0 for 2.
Well, he's a guy, if you can throw pitches that appear to be strikes that end up out of the zone, you got a really good chance of retiring him. He's swinging from the time he's in the on deck circle. 34 walks in 123 games. He's hacking.
Tanner Roark inside the numbers, presented by PNC. Fourth inning and later, lowest ERA. And the Nats have the top two with Scherzer, who pitches tomorrow night. And then the aforementioned Porcello, a 17-game winner for the Red Sox.
I think those numbers are a combination of makeup and stuff.
Yep. I think that's a great point, because you look at those, the numbers are great, but they tell you about how competitive those five guys are.
Well, you can have all the stuff in the world. If you don't have makeup, you're not going to go through the lineup 3 times. You could have makeup and no stuff, and you're not going to last in this league. So it has to be a combination of the two to go deep into ball games and get better as you go. It's called smelling the finish line. And it's what we see with Max Scherzer every 5th day. And Tanner Roark.
Two-1 to Franco. He's bounced into 10 double plays. That one foul. Picked up by Juan Samuel. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tanner trying to go at least 6 for the 22nd time. Franco not biting on the changeup. Counts full.
You go curveball here, you go slider away. And the reason I say away is this guy's got pop. Play the elements. The wind is gusting in from right center. Make him beat you to straightaway center, right center. You'd think it'd be hard to hit out right now. Plus he might chase.
3-2. The Nats anticipating Herrera running with the throw over. As mentioned earlier, 19 steals on the year. He's running. Ground ball. Can they still get 2? Yeah. And yeah. 6-4-3. Ball hit so hard, even with Herrera running, Espinosa got it started.
I think Pete Mackanin might take another look at that. I mean, you almost have to in this situation, but smart play by Danny Espinosa. With the new rule, you do this in the old days, your second baseman's getting crushed. But because Herrera has to slide straight in the bag, why not try to get the force out first? You're not going to hurt your second baseman. Looked like they got him and turned the double play. Nicely done. That's a risk that you might have taken before the rule, but you take it knowing that your second baseman has a chance to get killed.
Second double play for Roark and the Nationals tonight. Tanner has now rolled 24 of them this year. And Tommy Joseph, the hitter, bases empty, 2 outs.
Watch how exposed Daniel Murphy is right here with the stretch. Do you think you could do this in the old days like that? I mean, if you're stretching out, your knee is exposed, and runners used to come after you. They go inside, they follow the middle infielder to whatever side of the bag he's on, and you would have flipped Murphy right there. Yeah. Maybe even last year.
High fly ball to center, will play for Turner. Second time tonight the Phillies have a leadoff single and an inning snuffed out by a double play. So our Michelin do-up is Wilson Ramos. A lot of tread this year. 20 home runs, 69 RBIs. for Masson someday. Follow Nationals Baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. This will be his third try. Stay up to the moment, any moment, game day, live game video highlights, and StatCast. So download MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablet.
So there's this thing on your camera, Bob. It's called panorama.
I know.
And you
did it 3 times
right here, and you just go like this. Yeah. Hold it down. You get the whole shot. That's what he's doing.
I thought he was very steady the second and third times around. Ramos, Robinson, and Espinosa top 7. Somebody told me I could text too. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotta try that.
29292. You get all kinds of massive alerts. Updates.
I should be alerting them. I'm seeing it before they do. You too. Gets the call on the changeup. 1-1 to Wilson Ramos. 2 fly balls to right, and really the first one was a kind of a high line drive to right center. Run down by Aaron Altair back in the first inning. Hit the ball well. Both starters still around, 7th inning. Meanwhile, quite a ball game in New York. Jose Fernandez and Rafael Montero each throwing 2 hit shutouts. 5th inning. 2-2 to Wilson Ramos. Count is full. Got a breaking ball and hammered it up the middle. Ramos came in still 7th in the league in hitting at .314, and he's 1 for 3.
You get a lot of hits on fastballs this year, but I'd like to see the number of base hits he's gotten on off speed. I feel like that's been the difference this year. You remember last year, he would chase a lot of those in the dirt, had the LASIK surgery in spring training. He's just been seeing it so well all year, but his off speed with 2 strikes may be why he's hitting what he's hitting this year.
So Bob McClure, the pitching coach, to the mound. Michael Marriott. Nats haven't seen him before.
It's because they usually stay at the Four Seasons or the Ritz.
So the Nats, as we mentioned, unbeaten against the Phillies in the last half dozen, over 6 runs a game, a lot of extra base hits, hitting beautifully with runners in scoring position. And as mentioned on the year, 8-4 the numbers, brought to you by Jeep. After all those years of suffering in this ballpark, it's a lot of fun on the turnaround. Nationals 5 out of 6 here this year. The only loss, the Nats were ahead late, and the Phillies walked off Jonathan Papelbon. First time in this year. Clint Robinson 1 for 2, base hit to right. Changeup diving down and away.
See, these are the things I don't understand, you know, and now having played a long time, when you just have a conference and you throw one pitch and you go have another conference or two pitches or whatever it is, and then you're out there for an extended period talking about I don't know what, right?
It's a long visit.
I mean, you just had your pitching coach come out. You talked about what you want to do this hitter. That's what pitching coaches usually do. Hey, what do you want to do this guy? Here's what he does. Here's where his strengths are. Here's his weakness. What are we going with right here? And then 2 pitches later, you're back out there. Those are the ones that even if you're playing behind him on defense right now, you're going, what are they talking about?
Third time around the order. Threw the same pitch he got the strike with. 2-1. And a strike tailing to the outside edge. Nissan will trek it.
This looked like an outside cutter that just came back and caught the outer half. Back door a little bit. He's looking for something to pull.
2-2 pitch. Robinson on the changeup, unable to get down to it. Is that his first strikeout tonight? Looks like it. Into the 9 o'clock hour here. Old-fashioned ball game. It's 2-0. Starters are still pitching after 9 o'clock. I like it. BCFP DK. First game of the 6-game trip to Philly and New York with an off day Thursday. Danny Espinosa hit the ball hard first time up. Right center, caught by Herrera. Fouled out to third in the 5th.
Jake Thompson put up some crazy numbers at the AAA level this year. His ERA was below 2. They've been waiting for a start like this from him here at the big league level. And he was a guy that pitched to weak contact at that level with the sinker off the plate, getting tons of ground balls. And the Phillies have been looking for him to do something like this at the major league level. Well, he's doing it tonight. Pete Mackanin has to be happy with his right-hander so far.
Yeah, we're watching this and saying, what's up with that 9.78 ERA we were hearing about as he went 1-3 in his first 4 starts. One and one to Danny Espinosa. 7-game hitting streak on the line tonight. Off speed, laid off, counts in his favor.
Trey Turner has an 18-game on base streak on the line tonight.
2-1.
Well, he got into a 3-1 count his first at bat and lined that ball in the gap in right center that Odubel Herrera ran down. It's number 101 coming.
Yeah, this is by far his longest start. 4 1/3, and then 3 times in a row he went 5. Espinosa, good swing at a 3-1 pitch. Dusty's offense, 4 hits since the first inning. Phillies only have 4 all night.
You got to be on the 3-2 fastball right here, but it doesn't mean that Thompson won't drop that changeup. It's probably been his best secondary pitch tonight. And they're going with it. 3-2 changeup coming.
Struck out Clint Robinson with one. Gets Danny Espinosa with one. 2 outs.
I mean, it looks just like his fastball. It's the same arm side run, just about 10 miles an hour, 9-10 miles an hour slower. Good arm speed, good pitch.
Roark 0 for 2. Fly ball to right, ground ball to second. Little bouncer, third base line, chance for a hit, legging it out, safe. Tanner Roark, if it stands, his 6th base hit of the year. Inning still alive with Trey Turner coming up.
You forgot to say allegedly safe.
I said if it stands.
Oh, all right. We'll take a look at it again. Nice play by Franco to make it this close. How about that arm strength from down under? And Tanner Roark smelling the knock. Watch him roll. A little peek to see if the play is still on. It was. Look at the arm strength. That is impressive. And he is safe, and they're not going to challenge. Nicely done, Tanner Roark.
Yeah, I saw a stat on the front page of their notes tonight that the Phillies are 60% on challenges this year. Pete Buchanan's done quite well, but none yet tonight. And here's Trey Turner.
They've had 35 challenges. They've overturned 21 for a 60% success rate.
Big spot for Turner in the game and for him. Thompson's been keeping the ball away from him tonight, forcing a ground ball the other way and 2 flies to center. Away again, 2-0.
Seems to me that Trey's been pretty clutch in these situations with the 2-out RBI.
Yeah, some late movement right off the end of the bat. Two nothing Nationals. It's been that way for 2 hours. Tried to run that changeup back and it didn't make it. Ball 3.
It killed off a few power plays real nicely.
Turner the other way. And again, everything he swings at ending up on the very end of his bat.
Well, it's a nice cutter slider combination he has working to the right hander. It's been pretty much fastball change to the lefties, but you're right. It looks like it's going to have plate and it just kind of scoots a couple inches off and hasn't really thrown anything into Trey all night. If he's thinking right field right here, he's thinking right. Wilson Ramos going to get a head start. This is huge.
Crowd of 16,000 making some noise here. And Turner on an off-speed pitch coming in on him, able to stay alive.
I like that Pete Mackanin's sticking with his young starter, because part of development and getting better at this level is learning how to work out of jams. And if you go get a guy every time he's in trouble, how's he ever going to know how to do it? And if you're going to rebuild, this is part of it, right?
Yeah, you made that point about Pete earlier in the season. Like that a lot about him.
Yeah, if you're in a pennant race, well, maybe you go to your 7th inning guy right here in a 2-0 game. But if you want to see what a youngster has in these situations, and maybe he's part of your future, he's got to learn how to work out of these. So many times with prospects, you just run out there and grab them. Every time there's a little bit of trouble, they never know how to get out of it. How do you learn? By being out there right now in a big situation, the 7th inning.
3-2, runners on the move with 2 outs. Front door, and he got him with the breaking ball. 3 strikeouts, 2 singles in the inning. Nats have stranded 5. Good ball games. Time to stretch. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Still 2-0 going to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the bank. Nats Plus members and season plan holders, the Nats postseason renewal process has begun. Deadline to purchase your postseason strips is August 31st. Plus, if you're new for 2017 by that same date, you receive an extra postseason ticket offer. Log in your Nationals Access account, contact your account representative, or email ticket info at nationals.com today. They really like it when you call them around 3 in the morning.
Operators are standing by. Tanner Roark trying to do that 7th inning thing he does. First pitch, tapped foul. Aaron Altair. A 1 pitch. Great breaking ball. For the Phillies, 5-6-7, Altair. Rupp, Paredes, bottom 7. And he'll bounce the off-speed pitch. Wow. 94 for the first out, 7th inning.
You're talking about consistency. Watch pitch track right here. 1, 2, and 4, all right in a little pattern there. Low and away to Altair. Nicely done.
Mercedes-Benz on a remarkable pitch track right there. Next up, Cameron Rupp, who has hit a fly ball to center, grounded to short. Mark Zepchinski for the Nats. Been a nice quiet evening for the bullpen so far, thanks to Tanner. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Cameron Rupp.
I think for both pitchers, it's got to be comforting to look at the flags tonight.
Maybe on a fly ball like that.
That's a homer here usually.
But a couple tonight, Trey, well short of the track. 2 down.
I mean, you're playing in ballparks that are hot and humid all summer. The ball's flying everywhere the Nats have played. And there's been some fly balls that have died here tonight. So both pitchers have gained confidence based on the elements. Pound the strike zone. Hey, go ahead, hit it.
Yeah.
I think more so Jake Thompson than Tanner Roark. When you're young and you're still feeling your way through for the first time, something like that can be a big thing.
Well, we were looking at this stretch. You're talking about going on the road. First ballpark, Denver. Second one, Atlanta. Third one, Baltimore. Fourth one, Philadelphia. So this the first that's going to play large, at least for this evening.
Well, it's a gift if you're Tanner right now.
Jimmy Paredes, ground ball to third, swinging strikeout. Breaking ball, high drive, left center. This has some carry, but down it comes. And Worth has it. Tanner Roark this year, 8 times, 7 innings, 0 runs. He's amazing. And the 16th time overall going 7. Out to short. Espinosa will do it himself. Tanner Roark will throw his 23rd ground ball for a double play this year. He's running. Ground ball. Can they still get 2? Yeah. And yeah. 6-4-3. Tanner Roark doing his thing. 0-for-0 in 7 innings. And congrats all over the place as he gets over 100 pitches for the night. 100 pitches, 63 strikes. What a list. And he's the best.
That's impressive.
Jake Arrieta had the audacity to give up a run to the Pirates tonight.
Yeah, and
Still
yeah.
pitching.
Love that.
What a game on 5 strikeouts. Walked a man early, hit a man early. That was it. Michael Marriott, 27-year-old right-hander out of South Lake, Texas. Pitched for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This is his 10th appearance this year. Just 19 appearances in 2 previous seasons with Kansas City. Phillies picked him up on waivers last November. 8th rounder with KC originally. Curveball front door stayed inside. 2-0. Fastball to the outer edge to make it 2-1.
That's trying to add on to protect that potential 14th win for Tanner Roark. A potential 76th win of the season. That's a good job meeting is all that is.
Yeah, Max goes tomorrow. There goes Gio walking by. He's Wednesday. 2-2 to Worth, and similar location to strike one, but Jason gets the call. Count goes full.
A little flinch by Quinn Walcott right there. Did you see it? It's just a hair. He started to stand up and call it.
On a pitch up and in, fouled straight back. Going to come down right below us. Almost bounced up into our booth. But no, the drought is at 4 years.
What a serious slump.
Curveball, strikeout.
See, up and in, down and away, that's the pattern. That might have been a slider. His repertoire is fastball 93, slider 82, curveball changeup. Curveball's in the 70s, pretty good pitch.
Yeah, that velocity, definitely the slider. A lot of hook action to it. And here's Daniel Murphy, 2 for 3. So the Nats tonight, not one at bat against a pitcher they had faced before. At least to start the ball game against Thompson. And it's only going to get more like that as the rosters expand. Can the wind blow it far enough? Nope. Maikel Franco is going to get over there and grab it on the run, 2 outs.
Nice play.
Knowing your own yard.
Knowing your own yard and wanting to catch it, going a long way for it. Especially with the wind pushing it away from him. Nice play. High chart getting loose.
Start writing his name in the book right now.
There you go.
CZYNSKI.
Let's put ZDP.
Bryce Harper 0 for 2. First inning walk, a very important one with 2 outs. Rendon drove him in. High in the air left field. Long run for Jimmy Paredes, and as it turns out, the wind blows it about 2 rows over the tarp. I just feel like we're sitting in a different ballpark tonight.
Usually when it's 90, this place is a launching pad. Plus we haven't been here in 3 months. So you are, basically.
Even Matt Steers looked unfamiliar when I saw him.
Who?
Some guy used to play for the Nats who announces for the Phils. 0-2 to Bryce.
He felt that one. Something bites every time he swings and misses.
Harper to the right side. A lot of topspin on that ball. Tommy Joseph, good job of coming in to get it. The Nats go in order. 6 more outs for Tanner Roark to be a 14-game winner. And air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. And by Bank of America, life's better when we're connected. City Center looking north toward downtown Philly. Beautiful night. The Nats on top 2-0. It's been that way since the first inning. And now it's a battle for the bullpens to decide how the rest of the evening goes. Zepchinski coming in, and it's our UPS store called to the bullpen. Together, there's nothing we can't solve. Visit the UPSstore.com for locations. 31-year-old Mark Zepchinski, and for the Nats, it'll be his 3rd appearance.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball, lots of ground balls. 91 miles an hour. Slider change to go with the heater. Hornets hitting 268 against the Nats' newest lefty.
He gets a switch hitter, Freddie Galvis, to start with. Galvis right side, 213. Much better from the other side of the plate. Fastball is up. Galvis 0 for 1 career against Mark. He made 56 appearances with a 3 ERA, 36 innings for Oakland. Not a bad looking fastball, but outside. Tyler Goodell is on deck to hit for the pitcher. Galvis hit by a pitch and a base hit. Strike 2 to even it up. Close enough to be hacking on 2-2.
Got a big split, right-handed, left-handed. Dusty Baker turning Galvis around. 213 right-handed.
2-2 pitch. Goes the other way. Just a foot or two foul. Beyond the jump of Clint Robinson.
Yeah, protect mode, no stride, just trying to slap it in play and just misses. Extra bases.
Two. This time jams him and the foul ball goes the other way. Had him reaching again. Murphy to his right. Backhand, quick release, 1 out. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight in our studio tonight. When this one's over, who but WB Mason presents Nats Extra postgame. Here's Tyler Goodell.
A sneaky good play by Daniel Murphy. If he tries to get around that, fields it on the run, it takes longer. He doesn't get as much on the throw, and Galvis can run. He went to the backhand, which was quicker, and he made a stronger throw.
So Goodell 193 overall, 1 for 16 as a pinch hitter. Strike call. First time he faces the Nats lefty, Zepchinski. And there's Sean Kelly. They've got a switch hitter coming up in Hernandez. Herrera left-handed after that.
As Zepchinski has reverse splits on the year. Lefty's hitting 284 off him. Righty's just 246.
So 1-2 with 1 out. Turner a bit toward right center. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 85 cutting in on the right-handed batter. 2 down.
Well, sometimes the lefty have good reverse splits because your changeup is your best pitch, and maybe you don't throw it to lefties, but you throw it to righties. This is the slider from Zepchinski, but he threw a few nice changeups to Freddie Galvis and now Goodell.
And now Cesar Hernandez will face him for the first time. Mentioned earlier, Hernandez hitting 278 left-handed. Right-handed 336, so opposite of what Freddie Galvis, the leadoff guy, has done. Maybe if there's somebody on base, Dusty would have brought in Kelly here. And now Zepchinski a chance to get out of the inning. Meanwhile, quite a ball game in New York. Still scoreless, 7th inning up there. Marlins and Mets a game apart are battling. 8th inning here, 2-0. Washington, 1-1 pitch. Hard hit, Murphy right behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark Zepchinski. And that's how you spell the 8th inning right there.
to you again. Jason Wirth with his 19th. I don't think the wind had kicked up yet. Then Anthony Rendon with a low screamer into left center. That would score Bryce Harper, who was hustling all the way. And there's the runs in this ball game, 2-0 since the first inning. Jason Wirth is 19th. Daniel Murphy, 51 nights of tremendous sleep, and Tanner Roark, who we know ever since we've known him ever since he was Tanner Roark. So we've known him for a long time. Remember?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey for all of us. So here comes Rendon, followed by Ramos and Robinson. Frank Herman. A couple of Nats have actually faced him, Chris Izey and Ben Revere, but the Nationals per se have not. Came over after pitching 3 years with the Indians, out of baseball for 3 years, and then signed by a free agent as a free agent by the Phillies last November. 32 years of age, from Rutherford, New Jersey. Went to Harvard.
And fastball 94, slider, curve.
Oh, 1 Rendon, 1 for 3. High IQ matchup here with Harvard pitching to Rice University. Anthony, 62nd RBI of the year earlier tonight. Two and one.
Could use a few add-ons.
In this yard, always a good idea. Rendon, that's a swing and a miss. He takes off and he'll make first base easily. A pitch up and in, and nobody got to it.
Well, that's one way to get on base. Looked like a backup slider that fooled everybody, including Anthony Rendon, Cameron Rupp. Watch this thing just kind of spin up there and go the other way. You see the slider rotation, you're like, that's going to break down away. And Rupp kind of stuck his head in there and lost sight of it. Watch him bob his head at the end.
Strike out, pass ball.
Good hustle by Rendon. It's not fun either. Striking out and run to first is not fun.
Wilson Ramos rocket up the middle for a base hit last time. He will pop it up. Rupp over, Joseph in, and now the catcher adjusting with the breeze for the first out. Next two hitters, Clint Robinson and Danny Espinosa, here in the ninth.
There he is, Nats closer getting hot.
Yeah, Mark's had some appearances lately, but not a whole lot of save opportunities attached to those.
Anthony Rendon with 12 steals on the year. Let's see if he's thinking about 13.
Good time, and the Phillies thinking right along with you.
You know, there's a school of thought when you're on first and lefties hitting, you leave that hole open for him and stay put. But I think this is a real tough ballpark to go first and third on. I mean, you can, it's not impossible, but right field is so short here. If you have a half decent arm playing right, might be one of the most difficult ballparks in baseball to go first to third on a base hit to right.
1-0 to Robinson, 1 for 3 tonight. Able to lay off that pitch under his bat. 2-0. Then he goes off speed to get a strike. Well, maybe not. 93. I saw all the action. Thought it was a changeup. Low throw right through the first baseman. Rendon's going to check out his coach, and a fan picks it up. Can the umpire use judgment here and put him on third? No, they're going to send him back to second. And that is a bad break for the Nationals. I think Rendon, FP, had picked up Henley and was about to keep going.
It's a dead ball, apparently, when it hits the fan. But I thought umpires could put you on the base where they think you would have been, but I think the fan touched it before he got to second base. They put Anthony back at second. But this is a judgment call. And that's a tough break for the Nats. Dusty Baker, I think they're looking on the phone down there. I don't know what they're looking at. They're looking at the relationship where Anthony Rendon is to where the ball was touched.
Because we all know on a ground rule double, when a fan interferes, if the umpires think the runner at first would have scored, they can give him home plate. So Dusty will talk it over with Quinn Wolcott. Ryan Gorman, the crew chief from third base, strolling in. Brian Gorman just now arriving. It was Gorman at third and Carlson at second that were the umpires pointing back to the second base bag.
I don't know if it's just on a batted ball, but I was always under the impression, I could be totally wrong here, that it's the umpire's judgment to place the runner where they think he would have ended up.
Well, at least they're going to talk about it, and it looks like Gorman and Carlson will have an umpire's review here and go to the headsets. And FP, what you touched on might be the key. Where was Rendon in relation to the second base bag when the fan touched it?
Yeah, what else could they be looking at?
Kind of an odd trip around the bases for an Anthony. Went to first on a strikeout pass ball combination. Second on the pitcher's error, and we thought third base until a fan interfered and picked up the ball.
Well, if you just take the fan out of it, where the ball was, where Anthony was, he would have been rounding third. I mean, he would have stayed at third, but he had third standing up.
Yeah.
With his speed based on where the ball was and what his intent was, it wasn't.
And evidently, according to the announcement in the press box, it is a Nationals challenge. Although the scoreboard says replay review, whatever that means.
Well, they have the high home camera in Chelsea, New York. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at the play from as high as they can look and see where Rendon was in relationship to where the ball was and where he would have been.
This is a huge 90 feet because there is already one out in the inning.
Put them on third.
Yes, sir. The Nats win the challenge. And according to what we saw, that is the absolute correct call.
I mean, he didn't hesitate around second. The ball was still just getting to the fan that reached over. So why should you be penalized for a Phillies fan catching a ball, or any fan for that matter?
Correct.
That's
big.
Huge 90 feet with one out and a 2-1 count.
It's going to draw the Phillies infield in. The count to Clint Robinson is 2-1.
And you don't see Pete McCannon arguing that, do you? He knows.
Off speed, and Robinson tried to wait for it. Two, and Robinson to right with a base hit. The Nats will lead 3-0, and there he goes again. Clint Robinson, last 21 starts, hitting right around 290 now with his 13th RBI. Give him 4 at bats, and he'll do something big.
Well, we said that after his first hit, that he always makes something happen in a start. And we said also that he always seems to drive in a run. So here's a huge one in a 2-0 game in the top of the ninth, making it 3-0. Nicely done, Clint Robinson.
25th RBI overall on the season. Danny Espinosa. Still 1 out. Low ball 1.
And no way he scores from second. You have to hold on a line drive. It was hit too hard, and it would be first and third right now with 1 out for Danny.
Chris Heisey for Zebchinski. Espinosa gets another chance on that hitting streak. Weird inning. Strikeout, pass ball, E1, challenge, base hit, 3-0. Ball 3.
I'm still kind of scratching my head. How you didn't see that live? Maybe we just have a better angle way up here than they have down there.
Danny Espinosa takes the 4-pitch walk. 2 on, 1 out.
I mean, the errant throw at first base, he takes off, and he's rounding third as the ball is touched by, rounding second, I should say, as the ball is touched by the fan. But there's no hesitation. If he would have slowed down right here, maybe there was a little hesitation looking at it again. But you look where the Phillies players are in relation to the ball, there's no way he would have stopped at second, and he didn't.
Yeah, and I was watching Anthony. He did a good job of picking up Bob Henley before he got to the bag. So it all worked out. Nats get that run, a huge one. Now Chris Heisey, who's actually faced Herman before, 0 for 1. He'll bat with 2 on.
But see, I mean, this is where you have to, as a PA announcer, let the fans know what's going on. If you paid good money to watch a game and there's a challenge like that and it's not obvious to the fan in the stands what's going on, you have to make it obvious, don't you?
Well, we've been pounding away at that for a couple of years. They do it in football, basketball, to a certain extent hockey. I mean, tell the fans what's happening.
The Nats are challenging the placement of the runner on the errant throw, and then you just sit there and watch it on the replay board. A lot of fans, I guarantee you here, didn't know what was going on. And I think that's the way it is at all parks.
That was a breaking ball hanging upstairs. Heisey not able to get over the top of it. Marlins have scored a run in the 8th to take a 1-0 lead on the Mets. The other way to the first baseman. Return throw, and Heisey beats it out. So 3-6 on the fielder's choice. Clint Robinson ends up at third base.
Good hustle, keeping the inning alive, keeping the line moving, and now Trey Turner has another chance. Pete McCann going to look at it?
Actually, because of the defensive configuration the Phillies were in, that goes 3-4. Hitter like Heisey, they're going to be in a shift position.
You can't take the challenge with you. You have to agree with McCann here regardless. What do you got on the replay? Show me. How about the slide at second? Was that good? Because he's clearly safe at first. I can't imagine they're challenging that. Is there contact at second? Is that what they're looking at? Clearly safe at first. Show me the slide at second again. It's kind of getting wide right there. But then he's going right to the base. I think you're supposed to make an attempt to touch the base, if I'm not mistaken.
So difference between first and third, 2 outs, Turner coming up, and the inning being over. Runner did his job properly. So it's a 3-4 fielder's choice, and the inning is still alive.
Thrilling. Absolutely thrilling.
Trey Turner, 2 on, 2 out. We're going to find some retired second basemen, have a chat with them, and ask them if they would still be playing had some of these rules been in place.
You sit next to one every night.
I'm thinking about guys who maybe finished their career 3-4 years ago thinking, I could still be out there. I got blown up so many times.
It takes a lot out of the skill of getting away from a runner.
And Turner pays it off with a base hit. Trey Turner extends his hitting streak to 7 games. The Nationals lead 4-0. And now Mark Melanson's out there warming up again with no save opportunity, and he'll be joined by somebody, if not already.
So the hitting streak continues. The on-base streak goes to 19 games in a row for Trey Turner. Heads up, Jason Worth. He's coming to get you. Clutch 2-out knock to make it 4-0. Good effort by Freddie Galvis, but the infield here plays super quick.
Crazy inning. Here's Worth. Up and away. Yeah, so Sean Kelly now. Although Melanson's doing most of the throwing.
What do you think Trey Turner thinks when he's at first and there's a runner at second?
I'm going to catch him on a gapper.
That or get out of my way, dude. You're killing me. Although Chris Heisey can run.
We saw that on the trip down to first base, didn't we? Got down there in great fashion. Worth reaching and staying alive.
Pretty good numbers late in the ball game.
That's a lot of clutch right there. One-two pitch, he gets jammed, and fouls it right above us.
Fighting. Typical Jason Worth at bat, fouling pitch after pitch off, covering the outside. That big wingspan of his.
Boy, he can cover, can he?
Again, low pitch, outside pitch.
One and two it remains. And this one high in the air to right. Aaron Altair. Crazy inning. Went quite well for the Nats with a couple of unearned runs, and it's a 4-0 game. It still looks like Melanson's on the way. Max Scherzer, the day after Memorial Day following Tanner Roark, won a ball game back here. So he's going for 15. He's 6-1 career against the Phillies with a 2.36 ERA. Johnny and Ray, 6:30 tomorrow night. Jared Eichhoff, 9-12 goes for the Phils.
Well, there you see the arsenal of Mark Melancon. Fastball, the low 90s. Cutter, same. Lots of late movement, and the 12-6 curveball is hard and late. Look at the numbers. 59th game ERA at 1.35. 202 average against. And here we go.
First up for the Phillies, Odubel Herrera. 1 for 1 with a home run against Mark Melancon. Bottom of the 8th, Mets just tied the Marlins 1-1. Odubel, 2 hits tonight. And there's that fastball cutting in off the plate, 1-1.
All his mannerisms are dead on Roger Clemens. If you missed it the other night, it's been bothering me. Who Mark Melancon reminds me of, and I talked to him in Atlanta in his locker, and he said he doesn't try to emulate the Rocket, but if he could think of one pitcher that he loved growing up as a kid, it was Clemens. But when you look at his mannerisms, the way he just stands there like that, it's dead on.
3-1.
Trying to take the crowd out of it.
I think you just did that. 3-2 now.
It's like someone's putting for eagle on 18.
16,056 paid tonight. Right now the Phillies are drawing about 25,000 a game less than they used to. 20 on the average, 25 tonight. Place was sold out for years and years. (3-2). Ball hits the plate, but it doesn't go up that high in Melanson. Plenty of time to make that play. Maikel Franco is next. Go for 3 tonight against Tanner Roark. Strikeout, fly ball, double play. A liner to left. Will it stay up? Here comes Worth. He's got it. He loves playing in Philadelphia. 2 outs.
Ready for the ball. Good jump. Not an easy play. I think that's how you have to approach Mark Melancon. Come up hacking. He's a strike thrower. What's there to wait for? That nasty curveball or two? See if you can ambush him. Jason Worth with a nice read. Taking it right off the grass.
Last hope for the Phillies, Tommy Joseph, first baseman. Melanson a beauty right in there at 90. Joseph, first career at bat against Mark. Look at the late movement on that. Amazing at 92.
It might as well be a slider. Hey, it just depends on the night. Some nights it acts like a cutter where it's more subtle. Some nights it has tons of break to it.
Nats trying to win their 76th game of the year. It's important because of the recent rush of the Dodgers, who are at 73 and playing tonight. Nobody wants to go to Chicago for the first round of the playoffs. On the road to start. 1-2. Game over. Mark Melancon puts it away for the Nats, who shut out the Phillies 4-0, dominating now 6-1 here this year. They've beaten the Phils 7 straight and are 9-4 all year.
Yeah, Tanner Roark gets win number 14 to go to 14-7, joining Max Scherzer. Both of those guys, one behind Steven Strasburg.
And a nice night for Dusty and Mike Maddox. They only needed 2 innings from their bullpen all night long. So for FP and Dan, Bob Carpenter, 4-0 Nationals back in that W column, and Max Scherzer tomorrow night, Nats Extra 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Ray straight ahead from Philadelphia. See you later.